Good afternoon and welcome to TV Sapienza News Hour. I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council plans to formalize the export of a wide range of leather products being manufactured in Obunike, Oyi local government area of Anambra State. The Anambra State coordinator of the council, Peter Udom, said the move is in line with the Double Your Export initiative of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Udom assured the Nigerian exporters of the organization's unwavering commitment to help them meet both mandatory and voluntary certification standards. The coordinator, who was speaking during a working visit to the shoe shed facility in Obunike, commended the quality of leather products produced in the shoe manufacturing market. He enjoined the core members that are into shoemaking to register their export activities since their products meet all the necessary standard requirements for such. The chairman of the shoe manufacturers, Innocent Chukwebuka, who led the council team round the facility for inspection, enumerated their challenges to include lack of electricity, high cost of diesel, as well as absence of government assistance. He, however, expressed their preparedness to register their council and fulfill other needed conditionalities for exportation of their products. Following a series of jailbreaks that have rocked custodial centers across the country, the Nigerian Correctional Service has warned that officers found neglecting their duties will face sanctions. The Controller General of the service, Sylvester Nwakuche, attributed the jailbreaks to the nonchalant attitude of some of the officers, warning that negligence would no longer be tolerated. Speaking during the decoration of 13 newly promoted Assistant Controllers General of Corrections in Abuja yesterday, Nwakuche condemned what he called the lackadaisical attitude of some zonal coordinators, state controllers, and custodial center officers, which he said had contributed to repeated security breaches. Nwakuche reminded the newly promoted officers that the elevation was not merely ceremonial, but a call to provide disciplined, proactive leadership at a time when public confidence in the correctional system is fragile. The World Trade Organization has launched the first phase of its Women Exporters in Digital Economy Fund in Nigeria. Its target is to invest $50 million to create opportunities for women entrepreneurs in the digital economy across the country. Under this phase, according to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, 16 Nigerian women entrepreneurs will receive $30,000 and 18 months of technical support, while each of the 130 beneficiaries will receive $5,000 and 12 months of dedicated business support. Speaking during the launch of the fund in Abuja, Nigeria's First Lady Remi Tinubu, who joined WTO Director General Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala at the event, described the initiative as laudable. The First Lady, who represented by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shetima, noted that the program aligns with the President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which focuses on diversifying the economy and empowering women-led enterprises. She commended Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, TIC, for shaping this groundbreaking initiative to foster inclusive global trade and enable Nigerian women entrepreneurs to take their innovations beyond the nation's border. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala announced that the first phase of the fund will invest $50 million to create opportunities for entrepreneurs in the digital economy. Under this phase, 146 women entrepreneurs were selected, with 16 booster track participants getting $30,000 and 18 months of technical support. Security operatives in Kaduna State have arrested a suspected agent with about 25 million naira allegedly earmarked for vote buying ahead of today's by-elections. In a statement, the spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, DSP Mansa Hassan, said the suspect, Shehu Patangi, was arrested in the early hours of today at a popular hotel located along Turunku Road in Kaduna Metropolis, where he was said to be coordinating the distribution of funds for vote buying to influence voters in the Chikun Kajuru Federal Constituency by-election. According to the police, the suspect, during interrogation, confessed to the crime and pleaded for leniency. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Rabiu Mohammed, has expressed appreciation to other sister agencies for their synergy and swift collaborative action. He warned in the strongest terms that anyone, regardless of status, found attempting to undermine the electoral process will face the full wrath of the law. Lagos State Police Command has uncovered a notorious trans-border child trafficking syndicate, rescuing 11 young victims and arresting 4 suspects linked to the recruitment and transportation of Nigerians to Ghana for prostitution. The operatives from the Ilemba Hausa Division intercepted one Mustafa Bakar, an alleged motorcycle operator and recruiter, while he was attempting to traffic a 15-year-old girl to Ghana. The matter was subsequently transferred to the Command Special Squad 1, which, acting on credible intelligence, launched a coordinated manhunt. The operation led to the arrest of Charles Chima, 54 years, in Amuwo-Dofin, Emmanuel Nwaka, 36 years old, along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, and Princess John, 21 years old, at Ojota. It was confirmed that the suspects were part of a wider criminal network involved in trafficking young women across the borders. Further investigations enabled the safe rescue of 10 additional victims aged between 21 and 29 who had been targeted for exploitation but are currently receiving protective care and support, with plans underway to reunite them with their families. Commending the operatives for their swift and professional response, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, CP Olohundare Jimo, reiterated the command's zero tolerance for human trafficking and exploitation. The Arewa Youth Consultative Forum and parents of a teenage girl in Borno State, Aisha Muhammad, recently kidnapped by suspected Boko Haram terrorists, have appealed to the military to expedite efforts for her release from captivity. The terrorists abducted the girl last Saturday during an attack on Kirawa community, killing scores of soldiers and displacing many residents. Aisha's mother, Amina Bukar, appealed to the authorities to help find and return her daughter and prevent her daughter's case from becoming another tragedy. Reacting to the incident, the national president of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, Yerima Shetima, condemned the abduction and called for decisive action by the authorities. He stressed that efforts should also be made to rescue all other persons currently being detained by the terrorists, including the schoolgirl. In Anambra and Ondo states, government have killed 2 persons and kidnapped 4 others in separate attacks. In Anambra State, 3 siblings, a boy and 2 girls, were abducted in the early hours of Friday in Amansi, Oka North local government area of the state. It was gathered that the boy was later killed after he was allegedly forced by the assailants to sleep with his sisters. Eyewitnesses said the hoodlums invaded the victim's residence, took the siblings away and dumped the boy's lifeless body in a river in a nearby community. They stated that a 4th sibling managed to escape from the attackers. The spokesman of the Anambra State Police Command, Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed the development in a statement, adding that the Commissioner of Police, Ikoyo Rutugu, had ordered operatives of the State Intelligence Department to identify the surviving victim to assist with the investigation. Also in Ondo State, suspected bandits numbering about 10 stormed Ayedo-Ogbese community in Akure North local government area on Thursday evening, killing a man identified as Okudili Okoro and abducting a trader, Mrs. Orogun. The federal government has condemned the recent ruling by a Canadian federal court which classified certain Nigerian political parties as terrorist organizations, calling the decision reckless, unfounded, and unacceptable interference in the country's internal affairs. This came as the African Democratic Congress and coalition of united political parties argued that the Canadian court ruling is being driven by reported cases of electoral malpractices and violence in the country. The Canadian Federal Court on June 17 this year delivered a ruling on an immigration case involving Douglas Egareva, a former member of both the People's Democratic Party and All Progressives Congress. Egareva, who arrived in Canada in 2017 seeking refugee status, had applied for a judicial review of an earlier decision by Canada's Immigration Appeal Division. Justice Pongo dismissed his application, upholding the Appeal Division's finding that Egareva was admissible under the security provisions of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. In the landmark decision, the court sustained an earlier immigration tribunal ruling that classified both the APC and PDP as terrorist organization, and consequently refused Egareva asylum over his decade-long affiliation with the two parties. However, in a strong reaction, the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a statement signed by the spokesperson for the ministry, Kimebi Ebienfa, the government noted that the judgment failed to distinguish between individuals who might have committed offenses and the broader membership of legitimate political entities. The federal government emphasized that its political system is governed by a robust legal and constitutional framework, and that all recognized political parties operated within the law. The ministry called on Canadian authorities to immediately reverse the decision and avoid endorsing politically motivated narratives that misrepresented Nigeria's political landscape. On African news, the Congolese mining company sanctioned this week by the United States has said it categorically rejects allegations linking it to armed groups and mineral smuggling in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The U.S. Treasury Department announced sanctions against the cooperatives of artisanal workers of the Congo on Tuesday, August 12, over the illicit sale of critical minerals smuggled by the mineral-rich region of Rubaya. The U.S. also sanctioned the Alliance of Patriots for a Free and Sovereign Congo, an armed group aligned with Congo's military, which Washington said controlled mining sites in Rubaya from 2022 to 2024, and two Hong Kong-based exporters. The cooperatives, however, said that the control of its sites by armed groups meant the company could not operate legally, insisting that they are not perpetrators, but the primary victims of the armed conflict and pillage that have destabilized the region. The sanctions are the latest measures taken by the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump to try to bring peace to Eastern Congo, where Rwanda-backed M23 rebels staged a lightning advance earlier this year. The United States President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday arrived in Anchorage, Alaska, for a high-stakes summit aimed at exploring a possible path to end more than 3 years' war in Ukraine. On arrival, Trump and Putin were welcomed with a red carpet reception before departing together in the U.S. presidential limousine. However, what was initially planned as a private one-on-one meeting was later adjusted to include top aides. Speaking to reporters before the talks, Trump said his objective is to bring Putin back to the negotiating table rather than broker a settlement on Ukraine's behalf, assuring that if this summit goes well, he would consider a trilateral meeting with President Zelensky. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky, who is not attending the talks, has said his country will be counting on America for support. On sports news, Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, has pledged to immortalize the late Nigerian football legend Christian Chukwu, describing him as a national treasure whose life and career transcended sports and spoke directly to the soul of the nation. Speaking at the night of tribute in honor of the former Green Eagles captain at the Enugu International Conference Center, Governor Mbah said Chukwu's legacy would be preserved through concrete actions. The governor also announced the retirement of the iconic jersey number 5 he wore throughout his Rangers FC career. The governor also declared that the Enugu state government would take responsibility for the welfare of about 109 ex-Rangers players working with the federal government to further immortalize Chukwu's name and achievements. Liverpool strike twice in the final minutes through Federico Chiesa and Mohamed Salah to overcome a battling Bournemouth 4-2 in a thrilling start to the Premier League season on Friday. Anton Semenyo looked to have rescued a point from the terrorists by scoring twice after he had reported an incident of racial abuse from a fan to cancel out Hugo Ekitike and Cody Gakpo's strike for the defending champions. But on an emotive night as Anfield remembered Diogo Jota, Chiesa was the unlikely hero as the injury hit Italian fired the home side back in front before Salah rounded off the scoring. To wrap it up on the news, here are our major news headlines for today. The Nigerian Exports Promotion Council plans to formalize the export of a wide range of leather products being manufactured in Obunike, Oyi local government area of Anambra State. The Congolese mining company sanctioned this week by the United States has said it categorically rejects allegations linking it to armed groups and mineral smuggling in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, has pledged to immortalize the late Nigerian football legend, Christian Chairman Chukwu, describing him as a national treasure whose life and career transcended sports and spoke directly to the soul of the nation. And that was the TV Sapientia News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojoba Midele. Thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.